Hey YouTube, it is Denisio Matrenga as Prophecy Roken, Prevent from Flow. And today we're going to talk specifically about, um, well, when you're dealing in life and you're going through whatever trials and tribulations you go through, right? Um, there is a number of events that go down and you have to keep track of them. Like if you wish to deal with it in a constructive manner and keep your calm, you must concisely pay attention to the consecutive moments, each one leading to the next, if it comes to that. And so, just to get an understanding and be able to portray and convey what exactly your point is, if you feel you're being attacked and it's because they feel that you are attacking them or whatever it may be, that um, how you deal with it is a number of multi-dimensional processing, internalization in a moment like that. And so that is if you're staying calm. And when you are going through this, there is a number of things that you can consider is that besides your interactions with the things that you're, um, the situations you're going about, you you are typically, uh, centering yourself and grounding yourself, or being in a grounded state. And in this sense, you tend to uh, find a sense of neutrality. Don't take offense and don't take defense either, because defense would be an acceptance of that thing being an attack, and you're not a victim now, are you? Right. And so it doesn't mean that there aren't things that can come at us and make us in a victim-like state by certain bounds. That is, that is, out of our control if it gets to that point. But that's a matter of acceptance of you did what you could. But in the sense of you are still able to strive and you don't have any of those kind of bounds, that you pursue a sort of goal to where you have reconciliation or whatever it is, and during the time you hold a sense of neutrality. So today I wish to speak about that neutrality. You wish to center yourself in yourself, center yourself in yourself, but typically you want to, have a sense of, happiness, joy, whatever it is, not just as much as you don't, you know. You put yourself in that equilibrium state because you don't want to elevate yourself, because that's a distortion as well. Too much elevation just as too much, going down. And so it's where you find the equilibrium. And so that is exactly what we're going to talk about today, is finding the equilibrium. The simplest way is to see exactly what the conceptual notion is that is coming at you to as a notification, so to speak, like you get on your phone or on your computer, to say accept or block. It's not either. You're just clicking the X, right? Or you're just letting it stay there, right? I mean, not really letting it stay there. You're more clicking the X. But, and so essentially, you find that thing and then find the other thing that opposes it. So if it's a lack system, find the incorporation system, right? And then internally, you're just going to feel whatever that is, right? So if it's desire, find, the lack of desire, but still having passion, and say whatever, so that way you can get something fruitful out of it, right? Use it to your benefit. Channel your energies from the inside, because you're living in this thing, you're living in this thing, right? This thing that you're in, and you're perceptualizing the world around you. Your mind is cognized, the understanding of the world, right? And so this is parallel. This body is parallel to the whole world you've been in. And so if you understand that you're in this world, then you understand that you're in this body. Just as I have this shirt, I have this color hair, I have these eyes, you have it. It is yours. You're in a possession of it, thus you are possessing it, right? And so in this sense, you wish to just clear everything, just clear the notions. And best way to do that is do a meditation practice every day. Just breathe and then exhale out of the mouth. And that has worked for me best because I've done, like, vegetarian, vegan options, many health options, and I have like the greatest immune system. And I don't make it a thing to say it often, but I do tend to get cold, or not cold, but a runny nose, a buildup, and I recognize it, I accept it, but only accept it to the point to where it happens only when it happens, even though it may happen often, but not all the time, because it is not a matter of that, because we can always go beyond any tribulation, anything that we hold as a limit for ourselves. And so the best thing for that is for me to meditate, because no matter how much it may build up, if I, breathe out of my nose, I typically will have it build up. But if I breathe out of my mouth after breathing in my nose, then it clears itself. And so just work on finding that neutrality, finding that stabilization, and honing that, and finding that rock that is inside you, so that when all this world that is just as internal as it is external comes across to you, and you see in your inner self, right? In your inner self, just everything that is those abstract notions, right? Almost like floating in that space, and then you're right here, so that way you can go beyond it or breeze past it, and swim through, go beyond it, either way. And so either way, it is an energetic form that you can somewhat use to your own liking. And so it's very subjective in how you can do that, but it's just a matter of, if you look at two systems, one is a system of incorporation, and or how I like to call it, a system of incorporated incorporation. And then same thing for the other system, the system of incorporated lack. So as one, you can see incorporated incorporation, right? It in itself is binded by the same definition, almost like a neutral and a neutral, right? And the other one is almost like a neutral and or not a neutral, sorry, a positive and a positive, or a negative and a negative. This one is, I would say, positive. This one is a positive and a negative, right? The system of lack. And so when you, because it's incorporated, but that's adding to, right? But lack in itself is the opposite of that. And so it's a matter of finding that equilibrium, right? And so just as there's all these systems of incorporation and incorporating that to build yourself higher, that there are systems of lack that come into play. But a lot of misunderstanding is because of the way that not that I would say our world works like this, but we have made our world to work like this, is that we will attribute into a cross stream. That's not how they work. They attribute to themselves for the main goal, main purpose. Because as you are going up and you're incorporating incorporation, you also add systems of lack to the systems of lack. So there is less lack. And as that happens, you're able to move up. It's like efficiency and stabilization. Once you get that, then it gives room to all the potential areas that you can go into and explore in whatever field of understanding or mechanical, implementation that there is, that you do that. And then you go into there, it brings up what? Lack. You stabilize it and gain efficiency and whatnot, and that brings the system of lack up to another equilibrium, so that way you can bring this up and this up. And it's just a matter of adjusting the system, because you just need to continually do that. And so in a matter of that, I wish to show you one thing that I think is interesting, and it has to do with some symbology. And you can find some passages in the Bible about it. And so essentially, it is has to do with this thing called Room 101. That Room 101 is a interesting thing. So if you look at here, it just speaking about it, you go into the context and you'll see it's Room 101 is the thing that is Room 101 contains the thing that you fear the most, right? And so you'll see in the Matrix, Room 101, a number of places, and it's not just the Matrix. You look in a lot of places. And this is just one way, because we all know that Freemasonry has been in our system for a long time, that you can, and I'm not saying about the Illuminati just taking in Freemasonry, not saying that they're separate, I'm just saying it is what it is, all right? You can find one in almost every town in America. So look at, I'm sorry, this is like has so much viruses. Okay, as you see, what do you see here? The pillars, Masonic pillars, this symbology, 1, 2, 1. Let's go. One, 2, 1. See? It's in a number of places. And, you know, I do find it interesting, but just wanted to point that out. I do think that it is something to ponder on, but that was not the point. The point is that it is a matter of all these things are put up for you. They're put up just so that you accept them, the thing that you fear the most. So what is it intending to do? Fear. That is the problem. In speaking on my last video, or one of my last videos, the whole thing about frequency and less density is that it's very dense, that fear is, right? On the lower part of the brain. Love is up here. So it's a higher frequency, right? Like just even any scale, you could see that love is super dense, and I mean, fear is super dense and love is up here. And essentially that once you can find such a neutrality in that, and you can essentially create in yourself, because of that practice, a neutrality by creating a sense of love, by also creating a sense of lack of love, not that lack itself, just making that neutral space by making that divide, so that way you can hold that love within you and express the lack of love. And so in that case, you're emanating that energy, right? It's all about frequency. It's all about the Merkaba, the energetic field in our relationship to others, and getting beyond the limitations we put upon ourselves and expanding in this world of, you know, the material realm. And so I just want to thank you guys, and just like this video, comment, subscribe, and share. And I appreciate it, and have a good one, guys.